Hi guys, Harry Symeou here from the Chronicles of a Gooner. Just got in from Emirates Stadium and I've got to say I'm delighted. You know, Arsenal getting their first win of the season was obviously huge and something that we desperately needed. Talked about in the build-up of the game that I felt that this was going to be one of those games where we just kind of needed to get over the line. And, you know, I know a lot of people have made quite an issue about the fact that we only beat Norwich by the one goal. But I thought there were plenty of positives to take away from this game. I thought Mikel Arteta was brave in some of his decisions. To drop Bernd Leno was a big call, and I thought Aaron Ramsdale brought a confidence and a calmness to the defence. I think he seems to communicate better with the defenders in front of him. I was really impressed with Takahiro Tomiyasu at right back. It was a really committed display from him. Very hard-working, closing people down constantly, getting up and down the pitch, always involved. And I wondered if coming from Serie A, he would struggle to adapt to the pace of the game at the very start, but he did brilliantly, Takahiro Tomiyasu. So delighted by what we saw from him. Ainsley Maitland-Niles partnered Sambi Lokonga in the centre of midfield, and what the pair gave us was more kind of mobility than what we normally see with Granit Xhaka in there. We pressed high up the pitch, and I thought, especially in the first half an hour, Arsenal's press was really, really effective. We pinned Norwich back. We limited them to very little in terms of attacks. Struggled to create many clear-cut chances in the first half, but the way we pushed up and the way we played with an aggression and a real energy and intensity was really, really impressive. Obviously, you go in at half-time a little bit disappointed that you haven't broken the deadlock, but you know, I thought Arsenal continued that press very, very well in the second half. Again, it was in spells. We forced errors out of the Norwich defenders. We got into really, really good positions. It's actually the most shots Arsenal have had in a Premier League game under Mikel Arteta. So people talk about us being unable to create shooting opportunities and that being one of the big issues under Mikel Arteta. Well, there was certainly an improvement in that sense today. This is more like Mikel Arteta's team, a high-pressing, intense side, looking to kind of play on the front foot all the time, looking to create chances, looking to win the ball as early as possible. You look at the back four, it was Mikel Arteta's back four. You know, obviously Kieran Tierney was at the club previous, but he's obviously a player that Mikel Arteta really, really likes. And to be honest, there's not really much you can criticise them about. You know, clean sheet. The midfield, I thought, worked really well. I thought the substitutions Mikel made were spot on and at the right times. And perhaps most importantly and more significantly than anything I've just talked about, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang back amongst the goals in the Premier League. And if Arsenal are going to push on and try to challenge for the European places this season, then it's imperative that Mikel Arteta finds a way of getting the very best out of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I thought he had a lot more service today than he has done recently. I thought that Odegaard, you know, picked him out a couple of times really well. I thought that we broke brilliantly. We used this pace. We tried to stretch Norwich. You know, when, you know, they were trying to play the ball out. We know they're a footballing team and we pressed them high up. And when we were winning the ball back early, we tried to stretch them. And Aubameyang was using his pace to run the channels. I thought he was a lot better today. He looked a lot more involved in the game. And as I say, it is imperative that we get him fit, we get him firing, and we get him back to the top of his game, because he's the best chance, in my opinion, Arsenal have of closing that gap. Informed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is so, so important. And it was good to see him get the goal. Not his greatest goal, not the most stylish of goals from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but you know, he was there. He was in the right place at the right time. And I want to give a special shout out as well to Nicolas Pepe, because I heard a lot of people talking on the way out of the ground about how he wastes chances and how he, you know, isn't necessarily doing the right things all the time in the final third when he does get into the positions. But I have to say, fair play to Nicolas Pepe, because he never stops trying. He's always involved. And in anything dangerous Arsenal did today, Nicolas Pepe was somewhere in the mix. So it didn't always come off for him today in the final third, as I say, but always involved, never shied away from it, wasn't scared to take on players. And I think he deserves a shout out, as does Ben White, as does Tomiyasu, as does Gabriel, who came back into the team. Maitland-Niles did okay in midfield as well. So, yeah, not the greatest scoreline, famous old 1-0 to the Arsenal. I know some people will not be satisfied, but I think given the circumstances around this game and the pressure that was on the boys and the manager going into this one, I think the most important thing is that we got the win. We got the win, and there are plenty of other positives to take away from it as well.